Now I'll talk about what are the skills required to be a tax advocate. How can you master? Most of the skills are common for an income tax or indirect taxes, but then obviously the laws are different. See, as a lawyer, most of the skills required are that you need to be confidential, integrity, honesty, right? Communication skills, good drafting skills, very good research skills, good arguments before courts, listening skills, patience, understanding the other person, psychology. This is obviously everything is there. But one very important skill under these income tax laws and GST law is the analytical skills. You have to be very analytical. You have to be logical. You should be able to interpret the law. See, these income tax and GST laws are not very dramatic kind of laws. You cannot take up a file and create a story like criminal law or matrimonial law and go before the courts, create a strong evidence, win the case. No, it is not like that. You have certain facts, that is just 10% of the story. Once the facts are there, you must understand the law. The law is very, very wide. It's a humongous law. The act is there, rules are there, forms are there, circulars, notifications, amendments coming in the law. Many things are there. So you must understand that, and why I say analytical is, you have to be very comprehensive. Supposedly there is one section which comes into play, it has a repercussion or an effect in another section. Supposedly I pay a certain kind of an amount. Now that amount includes principal amount and interest amount. Repayment of interest perhaps could go into income from house property. Loan could go under deduction. So you have to understand all those things. It's a very wide kind of a law, and both the laws, income tax also and GST also. So that is all. You have to understand the law, that is very important. And after understanding, you have to present it in a very simplified way. See, you have sections, subsections, clauses, subclauses. A lot of clauses, subclauses under section 10, 10A, under income tax, exempt income are there. So you must be able to comprehend all those things. Then the second skill required is a business acumen, a business mind, any kind of a commercial corporate angle. That is very important. A dual qualification, perhaps I was lucky, I did chartered accountancy and then went into law. And could be anything, could be perhaps a company secretary or a chartered accountancy course or some diploma in tax laws. Here I think Ramanuj and Abhiday can help in Law Seekho. They have fantastic courses designed by them. You can do that course. And accordingly, you have to have certain kind of things. You must understand what is depreciation, how the transactions move. They'll give you certain kind of a benefit. That is, otherwise law is there. If you understand the law well, that is important. But then you must understand what is profit and loss, how the transactions move. For example, in gains, business and profession, we have income from our business and then all those expenses. Expenses are rent, electricity, stationery, water, legal fees, any kind of taxes. So then you get that profit. That profit, what you get is taxable for a company, for a partnership, individual, accordingly. And then the third is, you have to be on your toes. You must understand, if you made an area in these laws, these are very dynamic laws. If a case for me comes to me for 2014, I cannot refer today's law. Otherwise, apart from this, contrary to this, we must read the latest law. I have to read that income tax, that assessment year of 14-15, not this. So every year, assessments and income tax books I have to keep with myself. So, and every year it changes. You see that interim budget came there. Now, the final budget came in July. So changes keep on happening. You must understand what is the Finance Act, how the things to be on your toes. But having said that, the scope is very good. These are very sturdy laws, highly remunerative, and these are evergreen laws. NCLTs come today, earlier SARFAESI was there, a lot of other kinds of changes were there. Then new laws are coming up, supposedly in maybe criminal law or marriage laws. But this income tax was there, will be there, is there. And accordingly, now GST, it was a very bold step. GST otherwise is not something which is very rocket science or something which is very difficult to understand. It is something, all those laws have been subsumed into one, and what the government is striving for is to make the law simplified. As perhaps you mentioned that direct tax code will be coming. That is also for this purpose only. In order to simplify it, the exemptions, the deductions, people are confused because the law is very complex. They can only strive for, but then that is how it is. These laws are very, very closely connected with our Constitution of India, with the administrative machinery of the country. As you can now understand, these laws cannot be divorced from the other laws. They have to be read in consonance with the other laws. Article 265 of the Constitution of India says this. Article 21, all of you must be knowing. No person, right to life and personal liberty. No person can be tried except according to procedure established by law. Article 265 says, no person will pay the taxes except an authority which levies the taxes. That is, that you pay the taxes only when there is an authority. And from there, this is the root, the source from where income tax comes into place. The income tax authorities are there, and on the other side, the assessee is there. So basically, the tussle is between the authorities, the government machineries, and the assessee.